Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, there's so much going on right now that I always promise myself, okay, I'll do a separate video about that and about that. But it's time consuming because they keep these, going bananas, things just rolling out. So I'm here to analyze the epic fires in Hollywood, in LA, around the Palisades region, and in various places, because I looked at that and I said that just says it all. But I also want to thank Brother, I think it's okay to say your name, Brother Ali, for your order. And Brother E in the UK, whoa, salute, brother, because we ran into an issue shipping you stuff the last time where suddenly a charge popped up from FedEx, and so we sent it out through another carrier, and hopefully you will get your silk hair cream without any hindrance or extra charges whatsoever. I thank you for your patience, because I truly thought with that thing with the extra charges that I would never get another order from you again. And you've been so wonderfully supportive, brother. So I thank you very, very much for your just patience and support. Go to 25000yearcycle.org, anybody watching this, where you are going to get your healing done. We have products, we have services. Dr. She, you can schedule a consultation to go over any health issue you have. There's the food list of what you can, what you can't eat, and Dr. She, he knows. There's steps, there's ways to get to an incredible you. And as a personal beneficiary of his guidance, I verify. The only way is going to be up, okay? So let's get to the LA fires. But first, let me also say my condolences to I believe right now it's 5 people who lost their lives, and I'm sorry about that. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of just, because there's rich Hellaweird people all up in there who they're losing their homes, their mansions. I can't say I feel, too upset about that, but at the same time, I'm not going to gloat over it. And because there are regular people who've also lost their homes and, their businesses, their jobs, because a lot of just, places other than houses have been burnt down. And so my empathy and my condolences for those who lost their lives. This is a scene that I captured from a movie that I've never forgotten because it was that cryptic. It's not that it's that amazing. It's not at all. But oftentimes movies that are can have such a just confession on our enemy's part. This one is called still, A Serious Man, and it premiered in 2009. It was directed by the Coen brothers. And here is one of the final scenes where this Jewish, I guess he was an attorney, he went through this whole gamut of just, Murphy's Law. If it could fall apart, it will, where everybody in his community was just corrupt and, hedonistic and materialistic, and the people were just useless. And so this was a final scene where it very much just was saying they know something was coming. And this was in 2009. So that's 2 years before Fukushima popped off. But this wasn't that it was a tornado coming at them in this one of these last scenes. It's just that they knew the end was coming, and you could just tell because that was the cryptic storyline that was portrayed. And so in examining the fires in California, I just had to look and see the, hand of these folks out there. This is a post from this young man, I don't know, I'm not even going to try to say his name, but new drone shot from Pacific Palisades shows entire blocks of homes literally burned to the ground. The Palisades fire alone could be the costliest fire in U.S. history. They're saying billions of dollars have been burned to cinders. And when I looked at the different areas that the fires started in, there were so many of them all happening at once. And the winds were directed in a way where it's still, they're saying there's no containment of it, and that is what spread the fire so rapidly. And so just, you could go look at the pictures on the news agencies, because they're going to have a heck of a lot better production value than I do. I'm just going to do an analysis that they would never ever dare to bring up, but it's just so obvious. I'm like, all on the same day? You got fires happening right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these are like, this is a 4-mile little, I don't think you can see it past my screen image, but this is 4 miles is just from here to this fire here in the Santa Monica Mountains. How does all this happen all at once, all on the same day? There was one other fire that started today, but I theorize that's because certain Hollywood regions had been left unscathed. And this has turned out to be the most destructive fire in Los Angeles city history. So there is no precedent for this. And this is not fire season in the California regions. Fires happen there naturally, but this isn't fire season. And so I guess it changes, the amount of destruction changes every single hour. The fire in Pacific Palisades has destroyed about 1,000 structures. I read 2,000 now, or 4,000, I don't know. Making it the most destructive fire in the history of Los Angeles. Is far more destructive than the second most destructive 2008's, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, fire, according to statistics kept by the Wildfire Alliance, a partnership between the city's fire department and MySafe LA. But I had done an analysis of the movie White Noise. Once again, one of those highly cryptic confessions of theirs. That was terrible. It was just terrible. But I couldn't stop watching because I was like, these dudes are just confessing the entire thing. Okay? So this, I highlighted a song that I stopped listening to it because I got bored by it. I get bored easily. But anyway, I'm so tired of California. I don't even remember the name of the song. But the lyrics, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, they're talking about what they have planned for California. And this winds up getting all over, the entertainment and the music. They'll tell you who they are. They've said it 1,000,000 times. And so the lyrics on this, I'm so tired of California. I'm so tired of LA, where the real thing comes as often as a California rain. And the next one was, I got all these legal toxins in my blood and in my brain. I keep saying that I'm leaving, but it doesn't work that way. This is in, line with the movie they were confessing what they were doing. They were even putting in scenes where they had radioactive Geiger counters, and there were all these different train crashes and smoke plumes, and they specifically mentioned, oh, this black smoke, and it's coming, and everybody's panicking. And so here, the character, the song isn't part of the movie, by the way, but he says, California deserves whatever it gets. And throughout it, they were sort of like, not this scene right here, they were mentioning how awful California's been. Well, it's hella weird. It's hella weird. We cannot look at this as just individuals. Hellaweird is another form of their military. The CIA, Operation Paperclip, they have someone planted at every single media venue, from my understanding. Their news sites, the movies, a lot of movies are filmed on NASA sets, right? One of them, involved the moon. I'm just saying, okay? They ain't kidding. That didn't happen. And when you get to be a country that gets to pretend that it's gone to the moon, you just become part of the club. Right? The same club that won't say a damn word about Fukushima, about what is easy to find. Right here on the International Atomic Energy Agency Maris map, if it ever loads up, it will show you the radiation that they found in the tests. And when you look, these are just the places they went to take samples. And most of it is like, especially up here, the polar regions, is tritium, okay? But what I said, because now they're trying to say microplastics are the reason for all this epic increase in colon cancers. Hell the hell no! I'm trying not to use profanity, excuse me. But microplastics are everywhere. When you look at how many tests they've done over near Japan, right? The IAEA, they control everybody. They control the World Health Organization in terms of what they say about radiation. They controlled Russia. I've credited them with taking down the Soviet Union because Chernobyl. I don't know if it was a deliberate explosion or an accident. All I know is they used it as a study of how quickly they could take people out using radiation. All right? And so the IAEA came on in there, and I got all of this from The Crime of Chernobyl, the book, right, written by Vladimir Chertov. And the IAEA went in there and they set everything up because Russian doctors actually were starting to tell the truth about the radiation. Salute to Dr. Bandashevsky for what he did. They put him in jail for it for 7 years. Almost broke him. All right? So the IAEA, they head everything. They tell all the rest of them what to say and what not to say. So over here, look at all these damn samples over here. Right? Can't even see Japan. All right? And look at how dark blue it is because there's so many 16,265 samples right off of Fukushima. Right? So that's the problem is that they're trying to find ways to hide the fact that all of this got started, all this die-off, and I have it all in my archives. All of it started washing up on the West Coast. And they've used the homeless, because the first place where there were massive quantities of homeless to show up was on the West Coast. The level of ridiculousness in terms of what was happening with the homeless population defecating on the streets, though I've lived in New York and I've seen people defecate on the streets, and it's okay. Traumatizing, but at the same time, just the amounts and the liberal kickbacks to these homeless encampments was like a whole alien planet worth of lunacy. And I said, that is a covert evacuation operation. But a lot of people, most people, weren't succumbing to it. And most people, they don't know about radiation. They don't know about the hell of man-made radiation and contamination. They don't know about Chernobyl. I remember when Chernobyl happened. I didn't know any of this myself. But with Fukushima, something woke me up and said, nah, that ain't no. Right? When the first fires started burning after it had been dry and arid for a long time, the skies were orange because that was the release of the radiation. So much of it that it turned the skies orange. Now, with these fires, I guess enough burned, or the places that were the most contaminated burned in those fires, that the skies aren't orange right now. That doesn't mean there's not radiation in that air. They've even said it themselves. There's particulate matter in there. You don't want to just be walking around breathing that stuff in. But I said it all the way back. Get off the West Coast. And so this was, the most recent that I've looked for as far as articles go. Forgive my thumbnail for being in the way. I don't think it is too much. But Inferno Chaos, LA fire spreads to Hollywood Hills, 2,000 building destroyed, over 130,000 evacuated. Now, I just want you to see right here, LA fire summary, arson fears. I'm not the only one who's looking, saying, wait a minute, how in the world? It's not the fire season, and you got such epic fires happening on a day when the winds were gusting at 60 to 90 miles per hour. And they all happen all at once. That is strategic planning. That is not just some random, don't bother to come on over to X and try to find me here, because I very rarely ever come over here. But I thought this was interesting that, they're trying to investigate if this is arson. It would have to be very strategically planned arson, and that sounds like a governmental endeavor, if you ask me. But this person here, John Rocker, is showing a video, short one, of a homeless man. The homeless was starting fires in California today, possibly being the cause for the mass wildfires in LA. They have to find excuses for it, just like they're trying to find the excuses through the microplastics for the epic rate of colon cancer, which I said the jabberoonie thing, that was subterfuge to hide the radiation, because ain't nobody getting jabbed in their colon. Whatever's causing this epic rise that coincides with the initial explosion of Fukushima, right? This is from the National Cancer Institute. Graphic is from Daily Mail. Here's 2011. That's when Fukushima popped off. And bam, there it goes, right? Not over here, 2019. It wasn't even 2019. It was like 2020. Okay? That was all subterfuge to hide what all the documentation proves. This is about the radiation. And Fukushima, all it did was just highlight it, isolate it, so you could tell all these nuclear power plants, even if they're intact, are venting steady quantities of a substance, of substances that are deadly, one atom at a time. And so I theorize with this right here, stop it. This ain't no daggone homeless people to set those fires. It's also similar to this share I did where I was just going on about the banana that the rich person, dumb tech guy bought and ate, and it was like, what was it, $6.2 million, something crazy? And they're always trying to put us up in there with their wokery, because it is about good and evil. It's about the one and only versus the nothing and ain't about nothing. Okay? It's all going according to what they put out there in the media, which is that this is a sign the elites, they're losing and they're desperate. They're desperate for us to embrace their hedonistic ways, their materialism, their just perversions. I mean, oh, I had found an article in The Guardian that said that, the public's attitude towards pedophiles has not improved. Thank you for finding vile beings, absolutely deplorable, that you can never, ever, ever, ever have a moment of like empathy for people who destroy children's future. But they want it to improve somehow. Stop it. No, they want to normalize absolute debauchery. And that is what the assassination, in my conclusion, of the Rothschild, and his mother was a Rothschild. So yes, that's where the family line goes that ways, okay? These folks, I'm not accusing, because I don't believe in just, defaming an entire group of people, because there's always one who might be serviceable, but that's not my job to find them. I'm not about us going out therapizing all the devils in the world, because that, obviously, we've learned does not work. But at the same time, it's up to the Most High. We're supposed to be a separate people, okay? Set apart nation. That's what we are. Just don't get in the middle of what they do. All right? Because that's what they need. They need us. This is a picture that I got from Daily Mail again. A stupid story that when I see these things, I know they're telling what they mean, what they really mean. Where an escaped little monkey just happened to be wearing a little pink tutu skirt to let you know it's female, supposedly, right? Okay, they run all sorts of nonsense, but at the same time, this is cryptic, because even Dr. Shi had did a report on the escaped monkeys. I forgot what town they were in, but it was a very strategic town in terms of us fighting to be free, even if sometimes we get a little confused. And so now they got this escaped little monkey here, and the police department, look how warm and friendly this dude looks. This is their just nonstop insult towards us. We are the monkeys. And this one escaped and happened to be wearing a little pink skirt. This is supposed to be the black woman, where there's a lot of black women who are realizing, wait a minute. They just hide our voices, right? We know we only want the black man. We are beginning to realize just how, even if we only want the black man, we can't be getting our lessons on the ways to live life from these people. They don't even like their own, obviously. In my firm conclusion, these fires are not an accident at all. They're deliberate, just like the homeless, in order to get the rich people off of there, but also because Hellaweird has been a complete and utter disappointment to the devil. And with the devil, there's no backsies. There's no, I'm tired, right? No, there's no forgiveness. The devil wants slaves. And if you don't perform the way that he wants you to, if you sit up there and you pontificate, because that's all they are, is employees. And so they blow smoke up their behind saying, oh yeah, sure, as long as I get my McMansion, I'll tell you whatever you need to hear. That's the way these Hellaweird celebrities are. They're not good thinkers. Otherwise, the best, most intelligent conclusion to reach is to bow down and be grateful, because Allah doesn't want slaves. He wants you to think about it. But then when you look at these dudes, he's got you covered if you do as he commanded you to do. I'm not saying that there's not going to be hardships and tough times. Oops, my apology. I had the whole thing covered with the, I didn't show the photos, but this is the photo, all right? And so, yes, there's going to be tough times, but there's sanity obviously, to be heterosexual and in love. I don't want to say in love, but just infidelity to your own people so that you can meet the right opposite sex mate and do what perpetuates our existence forever is a hell of a lot heavenly of a lot better than anything that these dudes are offering, right? And so they're like, oh, we got to buckle down on pretending that we're there for the black woman. No, they're not. If they were, they would tell us about this stuff. They ain't going to tell us because they don't know how to handle a life based on truth, based on not wanting to kill everybody, where leave the sea moss alone. Any rice right now in Africa, oh my goodness, there's so many people just passing. Right? You ain't gonna ever hear the truth from Cynthia Erivo, who's like, who's the Akata now? That's what I want to know, okay? I don't know what you're gonna do about that rice, but they're shipping it. They're using China to get it on in there. But I've once long ago found an article where China gets the rice from Japan, and then they just ship it for free right on over to Africa. As a matter of fact, they're oh, so much. It's too much, and it's all connected to. Wait, what? Let's go on over there. Back on over, right on over to what happened over here, right? All right. And I almost forgot this excuse, which is one of their favorites, climate change or whatever. LA's wildfires sparked by rare collision of climate factors. The climate of when you kill oceans, you lose. Like, experts blame ocean blob for deaths of millions of penguin-like birds in largest species die-off in history. Stop. And this one, brand new. I mean, well, it's a year old, but that's nothing to depleted uranium, which lasts for 450 billion years. Fukushima fish with 100 times legal limit of radioactive cesium fuels water release fears. And then this one, I'm so many of these things, every time I hear them, I'm like, I can't get over how ludicrous this is. Surgeon catches cancer from patient in first of its kind case. What? No. And this is so sad. Stricken orca mother who carried her dead calf for 17 days is hit by another heartbreaking loss. She lost her next calf right after this one, okay? When you kill oceans, you lose. Wow, okay, I think I covered everything. Go on over to 25000yearcycle.org and support your soldiers. You're gonna know, because our deeds never change. They're always for your strengthening. Just perpetuation forever. Those are the people who are on your side. And I'm, like writing my book, I'm having a hard time because I got so many other things that I want to do, but I'm pretty sure I'll be finished by this year at least. I need your help during the process to do that, because we need stories that are just going to inspire us with truth about who we are. Okay? So, yeah, that's it. I think I've said everything I need to say. Mwah! Straight black pride is our ownership papers to forever. Peace and blessings, family.